Hey, what is going on, everyone? We are back with another episode of Total Life Fitness. I'm your host, Luke Briggs. So, today we are going over a very important topic. We are talking about 3 rules for strength training if you're over 40. And even if you're not over 40, this just in general applies to, as you age, these are important things to consider and take into consideration as you want to be able to lift weights and continue to, go through life as healthy as possible. And I know what you're thinking, but Luke, you're not over 40. You are correct. I am 33 years old. But I have, at this point, through my 9 years of coaching, in the fitness industry, I've trained hundreds of people over the age of 40 and can speak to several important considerations for, again, an aging body. So first of all, why is strength training even important? So the first thing is understanding that just being stronger in general improves, obviously, bone mineral density, reduces the risk of fractures, breaks from falls, things like that. Just keeps your body more sturdy and reduce the risk of injury and pain and things like that when you train right, of course, which is what we're going to talk about. And as well, it's important for your metabolism too, because the number one reason why our metabolism goes down as we age is because of muscle loss. So losing muscle mass is a big thing as we get older. So it's really important that we maintain our muscle mass. And then just in general, like if you want to be able to, continue to play with your kids or grandkids or do basic yard work, like, as we're here in Wisconsin, it's September, we're raking leaves, right? In the fall here, if you want to be able to play tennis or play golf or go hiking or whatever activities that it is that you enjoy, like it's just important to stay strong as you go through life. So I want to go over 3 considerations, as I mentioned, for the aging body if you want to stay in the game for the long run. So the first one that I want to go over is quality over quantity, understanding the difference between quality and quantity. So your body, if you're over 40 or just as you age in general, has probably sustained injuries over the years, right? Like one thing that I learned when I first started training people 9 years ago, back in 2012, is that pretty much everyone who I'm working with, I always thought, I was going to be working with like athletes or these people who have like these perfect bodies and physiques. And the majority of people I work with, they were beat up, like they had injuries. They had real life, like you have kids, you have stressful jobs, and you've had a lot of wear and tear. And honestly, I believe that it's just really important to learn how to train efficiently. So that's one of the things that when I first became a trainer many years ago, when I was training people in person, now I obviously don't train people in person anymore. I coach online inside our Total Life Fitness Academy program. But while it's certainly possible for some individuals over 40 to handle lots of training stress, most people need less. That means focusing on quality sets and reps. So, for example, instead of doing 3 or 4 heavy sets of back squats, you could aim to build up to 1 or 2 heavy sets. So you have fewer sets overall. And instead of getting lots of volume on your assistance exercises from barbell work, maybe doing things like bent over barbell rows or even a back squat or a barbell RDL or something like that as an assistance exercise, instead use things like bands, cables, and dumbbells, kettlebells, whatever, to add more volume. Things that are going to have less spinal loading. Again, not that there's anything wrong with barbell exercises. In fact, I prescribe a lot of barbell exercises, and I think that they can have a lot of benefit for people. But when it comes to overall volume on the body, most people are not recovering well enough in order to warrant that type of volume. So instead of doing something like a barbell RDL, you could do something like a cable pull through or a dumbbell or kettlebell RDL that has less loading on your spine. I think that that's really important to consider, because I think a lot of people, when they work out, think that they need to feel crushed, right? Like, I need to feel sore. That means I actually did something. I'm not saying that that's never important, but a lot of people think that they need to crush their bodies and just do more and more and more in order to lose weight or body fat or build tone, muscle, or definition. And the reality is, you're going to get most of your results, to be honest, from your nutrition or diet. So a lot of people just think that, hey, I can out train a bad diet. Hey, if I go on a bender on Saturday or Sunday or Friday night, or I go on a vacation, if I just train really hard, I can offset all of that extra food that I'm eating. And unfortunately, that is not the reality. The reality is that you need to manage your overall training stress. Like, doing more is not always better. More is not always better. You need to do what you can recover from. So number one, you always want to choose quality over quantity. So focus on, instead of doing 4 sets of 10 reps of back squats, maybe do 4 sets of 5 reps, maybe go moderate weight, right? You don't need to crush yourself. So the number two thing that you need to focus on if you're over 40 or if you have an aging body is warming up thoroughly, doing a thorough warm up. So I remember personally when I was 18, 19 years old, in my early mid 20s, I could pretty much just do whatever I want. I could just jump into the gym, maybe do a few push-ups, leg swings, and arm circles. And a lot of people are just used to doing that in general. And then you still feel fine during the training session. But the fact of the matter is, simply just doing a few little things here or there is not going to cut it anymore. So if you're doing a full body routine, you're going to want to emphasize things like mobilizing your hips, mobilizing your upper back, warming up areas like your upper back, your core, your glutes, your hamstrings, to protect your joints. So if you've got an hour to work out, you may have previously spent 5 minutes warming up and 55 minutes working out. However, now you may want to spend 15 to 25 minutes warming up and 35 to 45 minutes working out. So you're going to want to dedicate more time to just preparing your body to make sure that you're not getting hurt. Because if you have a long-term mindset with your workouts, sure, maybe you can think like, well, that does not mean I'm going to be working out less, I'm going to get worse results. Well, not necessarily, because if you're able to just stay in the game and you're able to train consistently and not be hurt and beat up, then in that case, you're going to be better off training a little bit less each time, but you're able to train more often and for longer. So with the clients who I coach and who we coach inside our program, we focus on a lot of things like, if someone's doing like a lower body training day, we might do like a hip flexor stretch. We might do a glute bridge. We might do some foam rolling, with the glutes or hamstrings or quads, hip flexors, calves, those areas. We might mobilize your glutes. We might do more dynamic things like, lunges, or some combo lunge things like a reverse lunge to thoracic spine rotation, where you're stepping back, hands behind your head, and you're rotating over your front foot, things like that. You might just do like a body weight squat, could do like some toe touches, jumping jacks to warm up your heart rate, things like that. I mean, that might be like what a warm up would look like. So you really do not want to neglect the warm up. That is going to be really important for an aging body. Number 3 is recover harder. Number 3 is you really want to emphasize your recovery. So you're not going to be able to get away with training on 5 hours of sleep per night like you could when you're in college, right? In college, you can roll out of bed. Maybe some people, you're hungover, who knows? And you can probably still have a good training session. So when you're 40 plus, or just as you go through life, you need to really be intentional about getting at least 7 or 8 hours of sleep per night, de-stressing and fueling yourself properly. So these things are going to go a long way toward allowing you to train harder and make progress. And if you want to reduce injury risk, you need to start with focusing on what you do outside of the gym. So inside of the gym, a lot of people think that all the progress that they make is just going to be from inside the gym, or if you work out at home, inside your home gym. But the fact of the matter is, the overall picture of your entire life is what's going to dictate progress. So if you're coming into the gym after a night of poor sleep, a day of poor nutrition, and you had a stressful day at work, do you think your chances of getting injured might go up? Absolutely. So what you do before the workout, after the workout, on your off days is going to be super important. The overall picture, you need to recover harder because nutrition is recovery. You need to fuel yourself properly. You need to eat the right portions of food. You're not eating too much. You're not eating too little. You're eating just the right amounts for you. You need to make sure you're getting in ample protein to help with muscle recovery. A lot of people I recommend you get between 0.7 and 1.2 grams per pound of body weight or target body weight. So that means if you are a 200-pound individual, you need to get between 140 and 240 grams of protein per day. Just as a frame of reference, I'm a little bit under 170 right now, and I eat over 200 grams of protein per day. So it's really important that you factor in your entire lifestyle. Again, sleep, your body's greatest concentration of hormones is released during sleep. A lot of people ask about recovery hacks. The number one recovery hack is getting more sleep. Nothing else, no supplements, nothing is going to be as powerful as a good night's sleep. That is by far number one. Like getting like a massage or sauna session or float session or whatever. A lot of people think like, well, if I do that, can I offset all my stress and sleep? And the fact of the matter is, no, you can't. That is going to be a band-aid for the actual problem, which is that you just need to recover better. So if you want to see good progress, you need to recover harder. So just summing things up here at the end, focus on quality over quantity. If you want to be able to train hard for a long time as you get older, you need to warm up and cool down. You need to recover on the off days. All this stuff is equally as important. Obviously, the workouts and what you do specifically are important as well, but it's also really important what you do outside of those workouts as well. And you need to understand that to get healthier, to improve your body, to improve your overall strength, to lose body fat, whatever it is that you're aiming to do, you need to look at your entire lifestyle. And that's really what I wanted to address in today's talk. So I hope this is helpful. And again, these are 3 rules for strength training if you are over 40. As always, if you have any questions on anything, feel free to hit me up and happy to answer them. We'll talk soon.